Hello dear friends, I'm Russian Anna and today it's second lesson of our Russian language course. You know Russian alphabet now and Russian letters. Today we'll learn how to pronunciate Russian sounds correctly to sound like native Russian. We'll learn to pronunciate them by finding similar sounds in English words and famous brands. Let's start. A is like A in Adidas. Example in Russian, my name Anna. Anna. B is like B in Bond. James Bond. Example in Russian, banan. Banan. I'll have translation here, but I think you'll guess translation. V. Sound V. V. Like V in visa. Example in Russian, вино. Вино. G. Sound G. Like G in Google. Example, гитара. Гитара. D. Sound D. Is like D in Dior. Example, диалог. Диалог. Е. Sound Ye. Like Ye in yellow. Example, если. Если. Yo. Sound yo. Like yo in yogurt. For example, ёлка. Ёлка. Ж is like Ж in Givenchy. For example, журналист. Журналист. Z. Sound Z is like Z in Zara. For example, зоопарк. Зоопарк. E. Sound E like E in Jeep. For example, институт. Институт. И краткое. Sound Y. Like Y in Playboy. For example, йогурт. Йогурт. K. Sound K is like K in Calvin Klein. For example, Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. L. Sound L is like L in Lipton. Example, лимон. Лимон. M. Sound M is like M in McDonald's. For example, mama. Mama. N. Sound N is like N in Nissan. In Russian, N is harder than in English. You must move your tongue forward to front teeth. Not N, but N. N. Tongue is here. For example, нет. Нет. O. Sound O. Like in opera. Opera. Example, office. Office. P. Sound P. Is like P in Pepsi. For example, papa. Papa. R. Sound R. Is like R in Rolls-Royce. But in Russian, R is harder in English too. Try to pronunciate it with tongue near your front teeth too. R, R, R. Yeah? With vibration. R. For example, Roman. Roman. S sound S is like S in sunny. For example, sport, sport. T sound T is like T in Tiffany. For example, телефон, телефон. U like U in Facebook. For example, Audi, Audi. F sound F like F in Ford. For example, frukt, frukt. H sound H is like H in Honda, but H in Russian is hard too. Try to breathe out with more dynamic. Yeah? Not H, not H, but H, H. For example, hobby, hobby. C sound C is like C in pizza. For example, center, center. Ч sound Ch like Ch in Gucci. For example, чемпион, чемпион. Ш sound Sh is like Sh in Chanel. For example, show, show. Ща sound Sh is like Sh in shit. It's bad word, but sound is exactly like this, shit. For example, борщ, борщ is Russian traditional soup. Твердый знак, hard sign. It has no sound. It shows hardness of consonant before. For example, объект, объект. Be attentive, not объект, but объект. B is hard, like in boring. Yeah. U is hard letter for foreigners, but we pronounce it like U in ill, ill. Yeah. For example, мы. You can train to pronounce U with something. You must pronounce E with something in your mouth. Try. E. You'll get U. It's life hack. Мягкий знак. Soft sign. It has no sound too, like hard sign. And soft sign shows softness of consonant before. For example, стиль, стиль. Not still, but стиль, soft L. Not hard L, like in love, but soft L. Like in apple. For example, это, это. You is easy. It's like English word you. And just like in YouTube. For example, юмор, юмор. And last letter, я. It's like я in Yandex. For example, я. It's me in English. So train your pronunciation of Russian sounds and see you in the next lesson.